Well, good evening and happy holidays to everyone. It was so fitting that Tammy delivered the report on the state of the Chamber, because so much of the Chamber's success is due to her leadership. So Tammy, thank you so much for everything that you do. And in fact, what I get to talk to you tonight about is an innovation that Tammy brought to us a few years ago, but we've been working on it and haven't been able to execute on it because it took a little bit of time. And that is the state of the region. So we spend a lot of time as Southeast Michigan residents thinking about our region, talking about our region, its history, its opportunity, its challenges. But we really haven't spent a lot of concerted time really evaluating the success, the challenges, and the opportunities that this region has. We have great regional reports: state of the city, state of the county, state of industries. But how do we look together? Tonight, we remedy that challenge, and we issue the first of an annual series of State of the Region reports, which you have at your places. So, what is a region? Well, a region is like any system, and that is that we are a sum of a bunch of parts. And the success of each individual part is absolutely critical to the overall success of the region. But the parts need to work well together. So basically what a region is, what a successful region is a group of interconnected parts that is more than the sum of its parts. So, as many of you know, I came here about 4.5 years ago, having never lived in Michigan or Detroit, and I was always puzzled by why this area lagged economically compared to other regions across the globe, because the parts are extraordinary. So we wanted to see what we look like as a region. So what is our region? In a word, our region is formidable. 11 counties, 7,000 square miles, 5.3 million residents, 300,000 businesses. By the way, not all of them are members of the Chamber, unfortunately. We need to fix that. But the 13 Fortune 500 companies in this region are. We are a formidable region. Just imagine the power if we were better, even just slightly better, at presenting ourselves as a region to the outside world. So why are regions important? Okay, yeah, it's a system. Yeah, we need to work together. Those are all important. But let's look at it as a sports analogy. The great city of Detroit has roughly 650,000 people in it. Kind of hard to compete on a global stage with 650,000 people when there are over 20 cities on the planet today that have over 20 million people just in that city, not their region, just their city. And there are over 400 cities on the globe that have 1 million residents. Again, just the city, not the region in which they are located. So the city of Detroit is 350,000 people away from cracking the top 400. So if we were a sports team, we would be at a pretty significant disadvantage hitting the field with so many fewer resources. But if we look at ourselves as a region, then we can bring the 5.3 million people. We can bring the 13 Fortune 500 companies. We can bring the entire region with us. That is a team that you can field and win. And also by presenting the entire region to a prospective investor or to an individual, to a company, we provide the power of choice. You want to be in a major metropolitan urban center, we got that option. You want to be close to one of the world's best airports, we got that option. You want to be close to water, either it be a Great Lakes, a river, an inland lake, we got that option. You want to be in a world-class neighborhood, we got that option. You want to be in a world-class business suburban environment, we got that option. Whatever you want as an international business person, you can find someplace in Southeast Michigan. We just need to make sure that the world knows exactly what our region has. And it's more difficult to do when we're doing just the city or just a particular county. That's not to diminish the importance of what individual localities and counties do. That's absolutely critical. And frankly, necessary. Because the better those counties and cities do their work to make their areas more attractive, more healthy, more investable, frankly, the easier our job is at the Detroit Regional Chamber because we have more assets to sell. So for all the small chambers out there, for all the government entities, for all the nonprofits that are out there across Southeast Michigan doing good work, we say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for making Michigan a more attractive place to be and to invest. So when we talk about comparing ourselves to other regions, who exactly are we talking about? So we selected for our first annual State of the Region report a set of metropolitan statistical areas that spread from time zone to time zone across this country that have roughly the same MSA size and that have active economic development programs, and ones that our economic development team that travels the globe and travels the country are constantly running into as our competitors. And so you see it's cities from Seattle to Boston and points in between. So that brings us to the report itself. Now, this report was many years in the making and many months in its compilation. And a lot of people contributed to this, but I really want to single out Angela Ledetto and Kristen Lucas of our research team, and I don't know if they're here tonight. There they are, there's one of them. It was a fantastic job. Couldn't have done it without them. And our marketing team and our graphics team, they're the ones who actually put it in a form that you could actually read. So thank them too. So let's get to some numbers. Let's get to the meat of this. Gross domestic product. This is the number the economists love, right? This tells you about the size of the output of the economy. In our peer group, we are second only to Dallas. That's pretty impressive. Up 14% since 2009. That's 5 full percentage points above the national average. If you want a number to kind of hang your hat on, this one is good as any. Even better, though, job growth. Number one in our peer group. The Detroit region is up almost 10%. And that's over 4% greater than the national average. We are kicking it when it comes to job growth in Southeast Michigan. Unemployment. This is a good news, bad news story. So the good news is our unemployment rate has fallen dramatically since the dark days of the Great Recession. That's great news. The bad news is that we are a full 3.2% greater than the national average. And that's not good. The one silver lining in this 3.2 delta number is that historically, for literally decades now, Michigan's number in unemployment has been greater than the national average. 3.2% is among the smaller of the deltas over the last several years. So it shows that we have a lot of work to do, but we're moving in the right direction. Income growth. Here I'll give us a good grade, but not a great grade. We are above the national average for income growth. That shows some important things. That shows that the jobs that we are creating in Southeast Michigan are generally the higher paying jobs, and that's good. And they're going to show you some numbers later on that will actually reinforce that message. So we are above the national average, but we're not leading. Communities that are very similar to ours, like Pittsburgh and Cleveland, are experiencing significantly greater income growth than we are here in Southeast Michigan. So we're doing good, but we're not doing as well as we should. Global connections. This is one of the things that I'm most excited about in terms of our position as a business center. Over 1,300 businesses from 38 different countries call the Detroit region home, which makes us one of the most internationally diverse business communities in the country. But it doesn't stop there. This region is also the #1 exporter of goods to Mexico and the #1 exporter of goods to Canada. We are the 5th most powerful export region in the country. We have an airport that is in the top 20 for goods moved and in the top 5 for customer satisfaction. We are a global region. And so when Tammy talked about the importance of immigration reform, that is why. It is absolutely critical for our international footprint and for other things that we're doing as a region. Higher education. Southeast Michigan is a powerhouse for higher education. We have 2 university presidents in the audience today, Roy Wilson and Verinda Mogul. Where are you guys? There you are. There's Verinda, and Roy's back there. 6 institutions of higher learning in Southeast Michigan with nationally ranked engineering programs. And over a dozen schools across Michigan that have a top 100 ranking. We have incredible assets across the state and particularly in Southeast Michigan in higher education. However, our overall educational attainment is a problem. Not only are we lagging our peer group, we are slightly below the national average. This is a problem because despite our incredible success with higher education, we have not, as a region, done a good enough job preparing our kids for college, getting them to college, getting them through college, and providing them the opportunity to stay in Michigan after they're done with college. We have a lot of work to do in this area, and this is why. The industries and the job sectors in this region that are not growing but exploding at double-digit rates are the sectors that are primarily in the STEM fields. Engineering and architecture, the life sciences, anything dealing with mathematics and computers, logistics, high-tech manufacturing. These are the growing sectors in our community in Southeast Michigan. And unless we address the education challenge, these sectors, these employers are not going to have the ability to expand here in Southeast Michigan, and they will look elsewhere. We must solve this problem. And this goes back to our pillars as an organization: economic development, education reform, and how they tie together. Innovation. So there's a lot of numbers in this report, and I'm just hitting some of the highlights, that are worth getting excited about. Then there's this number, the innovation number, which is worth throwing a party over. In innovation, we are not just having good news to report. We are in the middle of a transformation. The state of Michigan has gone from 41st to 6th in just 5 years in terms of its entrepreneurial index and its innovation index. That is huge. The very first U.S. Patent and Trademark Office outside the Washington, D.C. area was right here outside downtown Detroit. We are number 9 in patents per capita of anywhere in the country. We're number 1 in lending for small businesses. We have transformed our attitude towards innovation, and there's other things to connect that in just a minute. Can't talk about innovation without talking about automotive. Now, the report that you have at your chairs touches on several industries with some specific case studies. I know I'm standing between you and the bar, so I'm not going to get into that. But I do want to touch a little bit on automotive. Tammy and Hank both talked about our Machado Initiative, which is a statewide platform to convene all the automotive interests, the entire supply chain in the state of Michigan, to make sure that Michigan retains its leadership position, not just in the automotive industry of today, but the personal transportation conveyance of the future, the connected vehicle. And we have incredible assets right here in Southeast Michigan, and you all know them. 3 of the top global OEMs. We do 23% of the national manufacturing output for completed vehicles. Over 60 of the top 100 suppliers are our neighbors. And there's 375 research and development centers in our area. We have an incredible platform for not just the automobile, but whatever the automobile evolves into, and we're very excited about that. And that's where a lot of this hiring that I just mentioned is coming from. So let's not forget, and let's celebrate Michigan's role in the automotive sector. Information technology. This is exciting on so many levels. And this is related to the transformational cultural shift we have seen in innovation that I just talked about. We have a governor that came from this space. We have people like Dan Gilbert and others who have done something far more important than attract 5,000 net new jobs to the region in the IT space. They have created a culture here in Southeast Michigan that, one, celebrates entrepreneurship and technology in a way that we've never had before, which is leading to a whole new demographic being attracted to Southeast Michigan that maybe a few years ago would have overlooked. Younger, more professional, tech savvy. And they're doing more than just taking up housing, which is great, filling up restaurants, which is great. They're creating a new culture that allows it to be safe to take risks. And that is something that Southeast Michigan and Detroit needs to embrace, and we are embracing it. And this is part of the cultural shift. So as we celebrate the 5,000 jobs in Southeast Michigan that are net new in information technology, let's really celebrate the cultural vibe that these 5,000 workers are bringing to us. And let's thank those who are driving our IT and our entrepreneurial spirit, and we know who they are. So why does all this matter? Why did we do a regional report? Well, one, we were tired of having a party for the holidays, and we thought you needed something more serious. We did this because it is our job, it is everyone's job who's in this room and is associated with us to really understand what we are selling when we talk about Southeast Michigan. Stories are good, and we have great stories. In fact, we have a great story that's unfolding right before our very eyes. We have this incredible automotive sector that's reviving. We have this incredible strength in technology. We have this burgeoning entrepreneurship spirit that is infusing this city and this region. We're coming out of bankruptcy. We have all these elements of a really fantastic story. But now, with data like this, we will be able to infuse that great story with some really great facts. We will certainly be using this report as we hit the road and make pitches to investors across the globe, and we're happy to do that. We hope you will use it in your work. And you have a copy of it, but more importantly, it is available on electronic download through our website, and you have a little card that is also on your chairs that'll tell you how to download the full report. And feel free to send that out to anyone who is interested in it. So we're very, very excited about this, and we appreciate you joining us tonight during this holiday season. We're so grateful that you take a few minutes out of your busy day to join us. So before I close, I just want to do a couple things. One, I want to thank you, as Tammy and Hank did, for being our supporters, for being our members, for helping us keep the lights on. We couldn't do any of this without you, and I hope you are as proud of the work of this chamber as I am of the team that I get to work with every day, because they're absolutely first class, and they work hard every day, and they do the right thing, and I'm so proud of them. And finally, I want to wish you, your families, and your associates a really great and happy holiday. And as I depart the stage, we love videos around here. Hopefully you watched the two as you walked in the door. We have one more for you, and then the bar will be open. Thank you all very much. Happy holidays.